Hello, hello. Dr. Uche back again to discuss what I've been reading. My last book was This Close to Okay by Leesa Cross Smith. This Close to Okay by Leesa Cross Smith. Wow. This was a different sort. Heavy, emotionally heavy read. Especially in these troubling times with the pandemic, there's definitely been a bigger, an onslaught, I should say, of mental health challenges. These are very difficult times for a lot of people. And, this book really goes deep into life, struggle, and challenges. So, this close to okay. It starts off when a young lady, Tally, driving by late evening, comes across a man trying to jump off a bridge. So, can you imagine what got so bad that this man decided taking his life would be the only way out? Tally is a licensed therapist. She happens to be. So, having that blessing come by at the right time, she finds a way to convince this young man, she initially calls him Bridge, to get off the bridge and to not jump and to have coffee with her. She is successful. She manages to convince him not to do this. And so we start this long journey throughout the book of two people discovering issues in their past that they have not really addressed very well, that they have not really found a way to deal with. And turns out that Tally offers this young man to put up the night in her place. And, here's where human kindness really shows up, to have that trust in a stranger, to feel that she can read people well enough to know that this man is in pain, is hurting, and is not harmful. And so she trusts him, puts him up in her home, and he agrees. He comes with her. They start getting to know each other, becoming friends. He tells her that his name is Emmett, but wouldn't really give a lot of information about himself. She is a bit of a chatty, talkative, pleasant young woman, and she starts telling him about her situation, a divorce that she's working through, the pain of not being successful in having children. She tried IVF so many times and was not successful, and a betrayal, her husband having cheated on her and her having realized that, and that leading to them breaking up. And this book kind of goes from one person's perspective to the other. Tally's perspective of the situation of Emmett, and then Emmett's perspective of Tally and the situation. So I believe this takes place in the space of about a week. He accompanies her to a Halloween party at Tally's brother's home. So he's a gentleman who made a lot of money in the stock market and hosts these really huge Halloween parties every year that are very famous among friends and family. And he accompanies Tally to the party, and his costume, Tally's brother's costume catches fire, and he becomes the hero who saves the day and jumps on Tally's brother, helps to put off the fire. He ends up in hospital, very ill and injured, but he makes it because of Emmett's timely intervention. Now, along the way, very early on, Tally takes some material out of Emmett's jacket that is actually some precious letters. We learn later he was writing these letters for his child. There'd been a terrible catastrophe where his wife took her life and the child's life, and he was blamed for their deaths. And he was tried in a court of law, and he was convicted and sentenced unjustly, and I should say unjustly, sorry. And it took a while for the sentence to be overturned based on some fresh evidence or fresh relook at the evidence. So this young man was unjustly imprisoned, dealing with the deaths of his wife, who had a mental illness, and the baby, and then dealing with an unjust imprisonment. So a young man in pain, who even after he was released from prison found it was hard to get back into the world. People remained judgmental of him. I guess several people did not believe he was truly innocent. He was trying to fit in, feeling so guilty that he could have done something to prevent the untimely deaths of his wife and daughter, feeling very bad about what he could have done to prevent it. So really, survivor guilt. He was dealing with a lot of survivor guilt. So turns out he's totally lying. His name is not Emmett. It comes up later. Somebody discovers who he truly is or says it. And he, along the way, because those letters were taken from his jacket, he is upset by that. Wasn't made clear early on that he noticed and was upset. He sets up a fake email address, and he starts corresponding with the divorced husband of Tally, like he is Tally. So he starts talking to him, emails back and forth, a lot of stuff that wasn't said between the couple. He is able to bring up the issues in these emails, and his ex-husband, wherever he is with his new wife and child, now there's a baby, thinks he is talking to his ex-wife, emailing back and forth. So it's quite a whole thing that happens. And at the hospital, when this brother is hospitalized with burns, this ex-husband, who happens to be used to be a close friend to Tally's brother, he's surprised. He's hurt. Lionel, I think Lionel's the brother's name. And he comes to see. He's hurt. I heard he was in a fire. I heard he's hurt. He shows up and he's talking to Tally. But we were emailing back and forth, and it wasn't him. And so everything comes to light. And by then he says, hey, you're not Emmett. I'm trying to remember. Rye Kipley, I think is the name. You're Rye Kipley. I recognize you. And so Tally's like, you're what? So it turns out Emmett, his court case was quite big. Obviously, Tally didn't learn about that court case, but some other people knew about it, including this ex-husband. So everything comes to light. So it's quite an explosion of falsehoods. At the end of the day, they managed to find some understanding and forgiveness. Everybody is hurt. Each person has hurt the other. Each person is hurting with their own baggage. He learns that Tally's a therapist. He gets upset that Tally's been trying to, has been handling him like a client almost, when he thought they had something going on. So just a lot of hurt back and forth. But they get to a place where they forgive each other and become friends, agree to be friends. They part as friends. Tally drives him back to his parents' home. Imagine their surprise. They'd received a suicide note from their son. Imagine their surprise. Imagine their surprise, and a pleasant surprise, in seeing their son was alive. And so, life goes on. Tally goes on. Tally hooks up with an old flame from college, and she adopts a baby. And Rye is now working on opening a business. He's now lifetime friends with his brother, Lionel, whose life he saved. And Lionel has a lot of cash, it seems like, and he's going to help him set up a business. And it ends on a pleasant, friendly note. We get the feeling everybody's coping better, and they're friends, and there are no hard feelings. Interesting, different sort of book, really delving into challenges people can go through, human friendship, how somebody can have trust for a stranger in such a manner. Welcome a stranger into your home who you caught trying to jump over a bridge, who wouldn't even tell you much about himself for the longest time. You're trying to extract information bit by bit. She's Googling him up, Googling up Emmett, trying to see if she can find out if he's a serial killer and stuff like that. So it shows a bit of human kindness. It's almost too true. It's almost unbelievable. I really wonder in life the likelihood of such a thing. There's so many unknowns in our lives. So now to have a stranger come in your home, wow, like, is that something that's likely to happen? Or did he just chance upon the right person at the right time? Like God, I do believe God can send his miracle, his guardian angels. I do believe that there's God's grace and not, what's the word? Coincidence. So I do believe such things can happen. But just a feel good sort of story, sad parts, heartbreaking parts, a feel good ending, addressing mental health in a very different way. So I hope you get some chance to look at it. I'd love to know what you think. This Close to Okay by Leesa Cross-Smith. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you when I talk about my next book. And as always, subscribe, like, share my videos, and let's keep reading. Let's keep looking at great reads from the diaspora. Take care, Dr. Uche. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.